Okay, I'm going to show you how to pretty much beat Empath every time, and this team also beats Ramfire. So both those comps are pretty meta at the moment, and this one counters both. You start off with these 3 air, 2 fighter, and your second round we're playing Raptorus and the Caradolo, the bull, and that'll give us, plus we're playing the 10 cost shield, so it gives us 3 bulwark, 2 toxic, 4 air, and 3 fighter. If you get everything right, it's hard, you can't really lose this matchup. And it's against another high level player, so it'll be a good example. So if we look at his team, he's going to eventually get to 7 empath, 4 air, and then he's just going to spam his augments. Alright, so we're eventually going to bond our ranger to the Scoriox, and we're going to get Magma and Arcanite. And you can do that this round if you like. You can't have the flexibility to either play the Singe and delay it one more round to get your positioning perfect. But we're gonna do it now. I know he doesn't have any rogues. And that gives me 2 Magma. I could place my ranger here for the extra Magma. Or I place him here and he'll be the furthest target away, so the Blazonite stun will go over here. But you'll see once I place my Phosphorus, the Phosphorus will just tear through everything. You can play this with the Scoriox being the carrier and tearing through everything, but it's utilizing a bit of a bug at the moment where if you stack crit on him and then get on crit he gains energy, it'll trigger on every crit of his Omega, which is an AoE. So everyone that AoE crits, it'll trigger, and he basically permanently, he just keeps spamming his Omega. So we're not going to abuse it at the moment, but we'll show you how you can beat it with Phosphorus anyway. So I can get both my Singe for Magma and 3 Bulwark. And then I'll put my Phosphorus there. I'm going to actually put this to the side a little bit. I'm just going to put all my Magma here. The stun, I mean, if it was going over there, it was stunning like all of these anyway, so we'll see how it plays out. As long as I live this round, it shouldn't be a problem. So eventually going to stack our Phosphorus next with Augments, and he should just chew through everything. You can play this attaching your Ranger to the Phosphorus and get 2 Bloom instead of the extra Magma. But we're going to do it this way. You can also play, instead of the Air Fighter that I did, you could just play straight 7 cheap Bulwarks. Or 5 Bulwarks, 3 Earth, it'll probably work out too. There's different ways you can play this, but the idea is the same. So you can see we start to chew through it. Interestingly, my Raptor was the main damage dealer there. The problem is with the other guys, so Scoriox as a carry here without the bug, is that you're relying on getting through the dodge. So they've got a lot of dodge chance with air, and this Cephalinx Omega gives everyone an extra 20 dodge chance, whereas the Phosphorus Omega just goes straight through. The other trick to this is you really need this augment on your Phosphorus, which gives cleanse and immune for 4 seconds. So once you become immune for 4 seconds, you'll usually Omega before that happens again, and you'll basically be permanently in your immunity. I'm also going to give him, you could just go straight 40% Vamp, but I'm going to give him tanky stats, and I'm going to invest even more and go 2 closest allies, get 20 Vamp. So it should be these 2. It might actually clip my Singe. It's probably hitting my Scoriox, but either way, I've got this bit of Vamp and I'll be able to do the tankiness on him. I mostly build him tank just for the security because his damage is so good anyway, but you could probably play this with him immunity and just attack damage, pure attack, and you'll do even more damage, but so I probably do want my Ranger over here because he did get 1 good stun off. But I'm benefiting from the extra Magma here, so this is a bit of a trade-off. going to be super comfortable. You can see that immune is, the uptime is basically permanently now. And this is only going to get worse for him. I haven't got all my augments down yet. And he just won that round, but it wouldn't have mattered. There was no way I was going to die, and it's, yeah, like I said, it's only going to get worse. So it's arguable what's better here, but I tend to go towards 40% less healing, because if you look at the healing, it's quite a lot. So I'm going to do a hell of a lot of less healing. I'm going to do a big reduce attack speed here, and then I'll give him Indomitable, because he's going to die pretty quick, and I want him to last an extra 5 to 6 seconds while still giving that attack speed reduction. And then I'm actually going to go more vamp. I might just do even less healing. Maybe I could have gone less energy, but and less energy, they cast less, means they heal less anyway, and less shields and shenanigans, but that is 80%. That's 90% less healing, so it's a lot. So as soon as they get through these shields, they're not going to have any healing. What did he do? He did less energy. Which could be the right move for him. Sometimes it can be better to do less healing, so my Phosphorus doesn't permanently heal. I'm also going to put a team builder link to this team, so you can easily import this team if you want and then change it up from there. I'll put that in the description, and if you appreciate that, make sure to like and subscribe. So you can see this team easily beats Empath. It also easily beats Rampfire, as the Phosphorus just gets too tanky. And I'm going to show you what happens in a bit of a mirror matchup and why I've chosen the team that I have. You can see here Viper's gone more of a versatile bulwark style of the Phosphorus Scoriox build, whereas I've gone the 3 air, 3 fighter, and more magma build, and we'll see how this plays out. So my team is a bit more designed to be good against everything, whereas he's gone a bit harder into the bulwark, which would be very good against Rampfire, but doesn't do so well against this mirror matchup, and potentially not as well against the Empath, because he wouldn't have the air. So this turns out to be a pretty interesting game. He starts off using no openers just to see my positioning, and then round 2 I don't place my Scorpion, I only place my Bull, because I now want to see his positioning, and I want to get my Scorpion in the right position, the Raptorus. But he starts off with double magma here, and you can do this. The early rounds don't matter too much, but it is all about getting the advantage on positioning, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend this, but I think he placed it here because he knows my 3 air units are going to give him hyper, and he knows he can be in range of that. His Scoriox being fire. However, now I know where his more important units are, and I've still got most of my important units, or all of my important units off the board. He definitely could just be trolling a different deck or a different opener. This might not be his optimal build, but it's a good game to watch anyway. But placing his Scoriox this close also does put him potentially in range of my attack speed reduction augment that I'll place down later. I've now got my 3 magma down, and I probably should have placed my ranger more stacked on my team to benefit from that magma a bit better. So at this stage I pretty much know he's going to put his Phosphorus on this side. He actually decides to go the Lallura and the mini Rampfire, and he's put the damage reduction on it. So he really thinks my Scoriox is going to be my main carry, and it often is in people's teams with this, but I prefer to rely more on the Phosphorus. I definitely don't underestimate the Scoriox, but the Phosphorus is who I stack mostly and who I'm most concerned about. And you can see I win that round despite those 2 rogues at the back there. Now I finally stack my ranger on top of my main squad, and I've got Omnivamp, 40% Omnivamp on my Phosphorus, and I'm starting to stack reduce attack speed on pretty much my whole front line. And I'm not concerned about his rogues in the back at all. That's costed him quite a lot of mastery points to put down, and like I said, I'm not necessarily relying on my Scoriox as a carry, whereas you can see he is. He's stacked 2 augments on his Scoriox, and he's invested pretty heavily on trying to take mine down. So you can start to see how solid this team is. It works really well against the Empaths, really well against Rampfire, and these mirror matchups, I think it often beats them as well, as you can see. I used to play the Lilura because he's got a really good charm and he can disrupt the backline, but I just don't think it's worth the investment. I would rather place 2 team augments down, and in a lot of cases he has, you know, he hits on the enemy carry. It makes them a mega quicker. Yeah, he does charm eventually, but I don't think it's necessarily better than, like I said, playing augments. In saying that, if I was playing my Scoriox as my main carry, it would be very disruptive, and he has got the attack speed reduction and the damage done reduction down on him as well, which, if I was investing more into my Scoriox, then it probably would be a good move for him. And because I knew I kind of won this matchup pretty handedly, I just went pure damage on my Phosphorus, and this just allowed me to get through things quicker. But I think it would have worked the same with being extra tanky. So there you have it, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.